Good morning, everyone. Oh, hello. Good morning. It is a beautiful, brisk day here in Montana. It is 15 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's getting chilly. It's supposed to be a low of -4 on Sunday, which is absolutely ridiculous. Winter is here, which is always very sad. But today I wanted to talk to you about something really important, like really, really important. If you are concerned about mastitis in your goats and the care and just health of your goat's udder, then you need to pay attention. One of the most important things that you can do for your goats, for each individual goat and the health of your entire goat herd, especially your dairy goats, is keeping everything clean. Hygiene is of utmost importance when you're dealing with dairy animals. So today I wanted to talk to you about Teat dip or udder cream and what to do before and after you milk and why that is so important to your daily milking routine. And I wanted to show you what I use and why I use it. I have mentioned in other videos about how I clean my goats, and in fact in my last video I mentioned that I clean my goats very well before I milk them, because it is so important that when you milk, you are actually opening up. If you were to look at the bottom of their teat here, you'll see a little orifice, an opening here. And when you milk, that actually opens up that opening. And when it's open, it allows, potentially allows other bacteria to get in when you're done. And so that is why hygiene while you're milking. So you want to get off, they've been laying down all night, and you want to get off anything that is on their udders underneath here, because you will be drinking that milk. I hope, right? You're drinking your goat milk. So you want to get that all clean and not have any of that in your milk. But you also want to clean off anything that is on the udder to get off all the bacteria, all the little things that are on it that could potentially get up into that udder, that opening. So I personally use iodine. Every time that I milk, I am using this iodine and it's a diluted iodine, to clean their udders really well. So I am getting all around and up in there, and I'm also focusing on that tip there because I don't want any bacteria while I'm milking to get up in there. So now that she is clean, I'm going to start milking her. I've gotten emails from many of you. You email me and say, oh, I didn't know how much I was going to love my milking time. It is so peaceful and quiet and relaxing and just wonderful. And I have to agree with you. I love my milking time. A big thank you to Heidi Up the Grove for asking this question in an email about what to use for teat dips. Okay. Right, I'm done milking her. Once I'm done milking her, this is what I do next. This right here is a solution of water, chlorhexidine, and glycerin. And these ingredients work really, really well together to be a disinfectant after you're done milking. And it will help protect your goat and her udder from having bacteria on it and from letting bacteria get in. So the chlorhexidine is a very good disinfectant, and the glycerin is something that you want in there to help keep the udder soft and from drying out. So chlorhexidine can be a drying agent, and you don't want your goat's udder dry. So the glycerin will just help be an addition to this that will help keep it from drying out and chapping. As a side note, it is really important to understand that mastitis has many different bacteria or pathogens that can cause it. It's not just one bacteria or reason that your goat will get mastitis. So if you have a goat, if and when you have a goat that you think has mastitis, it's important to come to the very bottom of that and figure out what bacteria they are dealing with. When you know that bacteria, you can then effectively treat it. But truly, one of the most important things that you can do for your goats is keep everything clean. And what I'm showing you today will not only keep your area clean and nice, it will also keep your goats healthy and their milk better tasting and safer, and all around it will be good for you and your goats. So she a lot of times has just a lot of debris underneath here. Brushing it off really helps. Okay, so I'm not done with Faith. I just got done milking her, but now I need to spray on my solution. What do you think, Faith? Are you ready to be done? Yeah? Okay. All right, and then Eva, how about you? Are you ready to be done? Okay, I will. Olivia here was my champion goat milker. Last week I did a video, you can see that video on my channel, about how much milk my goats make after about 6 months of milking them. And she was my winner. Alright, so she is sufficiently cleaned up and now I'm going to milk her. And Faith will stand there because she is our goat that has a mind of her own and just thinks she needs to be the center of attention. Faith, can you zoom in a little bit on their face? Yeah. Hi, Faith. Using this solution, this after milking procedure, will also really help with staph infections. So I have a video on my channel. I know I always share a lot of information about other information that I have, but I can't help it because I want you guys to have as much information in your hands as possible so that you can take care of your goats the best of your ability. And without information, we can't do that. So that's why I always share about the other videos on my channel or links that I have below, is because I want to give you as much information as possible to help you. So in a little bit, I'm going to bring in Fiona, and this summer she got a staph infection, and I've never had a staph infection with my goats ever, and I didn't even know what to do. And so I started researching. We got that cleared up. That's why I got this Chlorhexidine in the first place, was to help clear that up. And then I started researching about the after procedure. And I had always done everything and kept everything very clean, and except that I didn't use anything afterwards. And I started doing some research about that. And so what I found is that you can use udder creams. You can make your own udder creams that you would use after milking. So one thing to be aware of is that these udder creams, can actually become very unsanitary and filled with bacteria. So you got to make sure that, like, your hands and whatever you're using to dip is very clean and that you're not contaminating them in any way. And so just be aware of that. And that is one reason that I actually did choose this solution that I'm using, is that it will not become unsanitary in any way, and it will also just keep things very clean and kill all of the bacteria and things that might be there, and even the staph infection, and keep things so that those type of things don't pop up and cause problems. Come on. Come on. All right, my last goat, getting her cleaned up. Sorry if my hands are cold. All right, last goat to spray. So there you have it. The milking is done, but we're not quite finished yet because there's another important factor to think about when you're thinking about milking and keeping your goats clean, and about what to do after you've even sprayed this solution. Let's talk about that now. The next part of this is what you do after you milk. And the best thing to do is to milk your goats and then feed them. It's important that your goats don't lay down for at least half an hour after you have milked. Now remember, I already mentioned that at the very tip of their teat is the orf, the opening to their udder. And when you milk, it opens up that udder. And so it takes about a half an hour for that to close up. So if you can feed your goats after milking up off the ground so that they're not laying down, that will keep them from laying down with the opening to their udder and open. And so that will allow it to have the time to close up so that it doesn't allow bacteria inside. Right. Do you have anything to add to that? Do you have anything to add to that? So it's pretty simple. Milk and then feed. Keep your goats from laying down for at least half an hour after you've milked. You want to get the hay? You guys are being so patient. Huh. Oh, nice. I like that. I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with liking snow in the really cold weather. It makes things difficult when you own animals. But one thing, no matter what, that it is so important to keep up on is just the cleaning up of everything. And I'll be honest, I failed in this in previous years. When it's cold and snowing and just miserable out, it's hard to, and everything's just frozen down. That's another aspect of life where it's cold, is things just freeze down and they get a layer of snow on them and then another layer and another layer, and it is hard to keep things cleaned up. And so I understand what it's like living where it's just miserable cold. But it is also really important to keep your barn areas clean. And I'm really, there's one thing I have failed at in the previous years is around my feeder. Goats just waste hay no matter what you try, no matter what magical feeder that you have for them, they will waste hay. So really what you need to do is keep your areas clean. Hygiene is important. So keep them clean while you're milking and after you're milking, and also keep your areas, your barn areas clean as well. I'm bringing in my cleaning solutions so they don't freeze tonight. And rest assured, this milk is definitely getting chilled in this weather pretty quickly. All right, so milking chores are done. Goats are satisfied with some hay. The pigs are squealing at me, but it is time to go in to do homeschool. The kids are inside waiting for me, and we'll get started with that. And then we're gonna come out in this cold weather. We have been meaning all summer long to get the roof to the chicken barn re-roofed, and it just hasn't happened, and it has to happen. And so we finally have a time to do it. Bill is done with the work that he's been doing, and we're gonna get it done. So nothing can stop us Montanans. Cold, rain, snow, sleet, shine, you just gotta get it done.
No, I thought it was a candy. Guys, this is a lot.
Good job. Make the grass green again.
What's that, baby?
Are you guys neighbors? We can show love for each other. Very nice. Hold it up big now. So, hitch a ride to England. Make the acquaintance of a cow. Sarah looked and looked and filled her mind with the beauty of it.
Too big.
While the goats are snuggled up cozy in the barn, we are heading outside to the cold. And what's a good after picture without a really bad before picture, right?
How are we gonna get to the gate? I can't. This is a nice
Although gloves are bulky, they are quite important when the weather is this cold. We're adding more stringers to the roof so that there will be more support when we add this new tin. And it's a really good thing that we have such good help. Here we are. Poor guys, there's snow everywhere, isn't there? We'll get this snow out of here, okay guys? It'll be helpful. Get this fixed up for you. To be honest, my goats have been my main focus these last couple of years. Now it's the chickens' turn.
I'll go cut several of them.
Okay, if you did.
Yeah. What are you guys doing down there? What are we doing up there?
You be careful of that tin just about that sharp end.
It's a big family event, an accomplishment that we can all make together. Isn't it funny that it's the memories that you wish were different in the moment actually become the ones that were most fondly remembered in the end? We'll always say, hey, remember when we put on that chicken roof in a snowstorm? Those were good times.
Wow, you didn't go into my nose.
Thanks again. Appreciate when we do it together.
It's done. What a relief. Thank you for helping.
Yep.
Oh, it is darker.
You got them openings, or you
Oh.
stumbling around in here, something terrible.
Alright, so we're planning to put a window in here. There's the window, and we'll put it right in here. That'll help with light. Alright, we started the day off with talking about udder care and your goats, taking care of your goats' udder after milking and how important that is, and just how hygiene and proper care will prevent so many things from going wrong in your goat's health. And we're going to end with me saying that next week we're going to talk about winter care for goats. Now, I already have a video on my channel that's about just the winter care for goats. But I wanted to go into, because in that one I didn't too much or at all, talk about frostbite and hypothermia, and also talking about blankets for goats. So let's talk about winter care next week. And so I just hope that this week that you find many blessings and that you truly are able to find peace and joy despite what's going on in the world, and that you can just take a deep breath, enjoy life, and truly give thanks to our God for all that He's given us. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Just wanted to pop in and say goodnight, guys. Good night. Sleep well. Oh, my. Ooh, it's burping. Zoe, be nice over there. Don't use your horns. Use your manners. Night, guys. Sleep well. Stay warm, guys. Snow tastes a lot better than our water, huh? I'm sorry. They do have water. They have water available. It is completely full.